Today, we'll be talking about John Grisham, some of his novels. In one of the previous videos, I did go through some of the John Grisham novels that have been converted into movies, but this one is just going to talk about the novels. So do check that episode as well. I cover John Grisham's biography, a very short biography in that previous video, which covers like John Grisham's novels converted into films and movies. So do go over that and then watch this, or if you watch this first, to go and watch that as well. So John Grisham's novels, they are all legal thrillers. And there is a lot of courtroom drama, and some of the legal complexities are explored, and some of the things that happen in the legal system, the criminal justice system, and so on. So he explores these themes very deeply. So in The Guardians, basically there is a young lawyer by name Keith Russo in Seabrook, which is like a sort of a small town in northern Florida. So Keith, while he was working on a case, on this fateful night, he was shot and killed on the spot at his desk. So the perpetrator left no trace, there was no suspect, there was no witness, and there was no motive. Little could be done. So the police went up on this wild goose chase, and then they found like a young black man who had once been Russo's client, and the young man was Quincy Miller. So they ended up arresting Quincy Miller. So Quincy was sent to prison for life, and for nearly 22 years, Quincy endured life in this penitentiary, having no lawyer, no attorney, and sort of nobody to aid him. And he finally wrote a letter to Guardian Ministries, an innocence group that is led by Cullen Post. And this brings into the place and into the scene Cullen Post, a lawyer and a minister who will be defending Quincy Miller and going to the court with a legal battle. So as Post tries to dig deeper into Miller's case, he uncovers a web of corruption and deceit and sinister that is involved. So there were a lot of motives that extend far beyond what was initially suspected. So it soon becomes evident that Keith Russo was killed for no reason. There were some really powerful people, and there were these people that wanted him like kind of a secret. They wanted to keep something a secret. So that's what Cullen Post has to discover and find out. So amazing the flaws and biases of the criminal justice system. So there is this young black man that got arrested just because he was a client of the lawyer who got murdered, and he had nothing to do with it, but yet he was there in prison for 22 years. And The Guardian shines a light on the dedication of those who work in these non-profit organizations trying to help the innocent, and the importance of justice in this whole legal system. So that's what it tries to cover. The next one is The Judge's List. A very interesting one, actually. The novel is the second book in the Whistler series. So this tracks the person Lacey Stalls. She was first introduced as the Whistler, trying to bring out somebody bad in the corporation and so on. And she returns to her role as an investigator for the Florida Board of Judicial Conduct. And Lacey life takes a dramatic turn when she is approached by Jerry Crosby. So Jerry Crosby's father was murdered, mysteriously murdered about 20 years ago. And Jerry has spent decades trying to prove that a respected judge, whom she refers to as the judge on her detailed list, is behind not only her father's death, but she thinks there is a series of other meticulously executed murders that the judge himself is responsible for. And Lacey Stoltz is in one of those positions where she can go and investigate, but she had a fine line, right? So the judge is skillfully masked by like a facade. He's very much respected, and he has a lot of authority, right? And but he's really cunning and a ruthless killer. It's meticulously he's planning all these crimes and committing them with no trace left behind, because he knows the legal system. He knows how the detectives work and how the how all the traces get collected at a crime scene. So he's aware of all those things. So this is a judge in a powerful position, right? And he knows the intricacies of the system. So the novelist characterized by Grisham's detailed legal procedures that he packs into as a narrative. And Lacey embarks on this dangerous quest, right? So she is about to expose the judge and try to bring him to justice, but he's a very powerful person, and she has to navigate through some intricate and perilous legal landscape. So that makes it very interesting how she goes through a person who doesn't have too much authority, but she has to do some whistleblowing and what has to happen, but not in a manner that usual whistleblowers get to do, but she has to do it methodically. And this is an exploration of the terrifying reality that somebody who we task with upholding the law, if they become ruthless and they are the ones who will violate it and flagrantly violate it, right? What do we have to do? That's what the novel covers, and it's a complex web of secrets and the judicial corruption, as well as some of the paths that Lacey has to go through. And this takes the readers on a very nice journey. It's on the edge of the seat kind of journey, and as the plot progresses, it becomes really evident why is the judge doing these murders, what is the motive behind it, and it all gets clear. So do go ahead and read it. It's a good whodunit legal thriller, I would say, and how a whistleblower is operating, and especially when somebody is a bigger authority in the whole system that she's working in. So very nice read. So the next one is The Partner. So The Partner actually starts off following Danilo Silva, who is settled in Brazil, and he's a small time leading a very tired life, and it's very quiet for Danilo, but he's being followed, and he's followed continuously for several days, which ultimately leads to the arrest, and he's charged with stealing a huge fortune. But the kind of life he's living in Brazil, it doesn't point to a lavish lifestyle. So but he's arrested for some stolen fortune from a law firm. So it so happens that about 4 years ago in the past, Danilo Silva had been known as Patrick Lanigan. And Patrick Lanigan is a partner in a very notable Biloxi law firm. And he had a great title, very nice life, and then wife and kids to cherish for, and a future that looked so promising. But then suddenly he found himself trapped in a car that was on fire, and he supposedly died in that car, but the casket which gets buried only contains his ashes, and Patrick Lanigan is not far away watching his own funeral. So the money gets taken by an offshore account of this law firm where Patrick worked. So the law firm is settled with $90 million that gets stolen from this particular law firm, and Lanigan is known to have escaped with it, which is why he was being followed in Brazil. So This is a fortune that belongs to the firm's biggest client, and they really want it back as well, right? So Lanigan is extradited back to the US, and he faces a lot of charges about theft, fraud, and murder. So the novel shifts the focus to Lanigan's legal battle, where he fights to keep the money, which makes it interesting, right? And it's a lengthy, and he's also fighting against a lengthy prison sentence that he's going to be delivered. So he's represented by Sandy McDermott, a brilliant unorthodox lawyer, though, and Lanigan navigates through sort of this whole legal system, and also like the furious clients he has to deal with from whom he stole the money. And as the story unfolds, Grisham is taking you into Lanigan's motivations, why he did it. He had such a nice life to go for, right, with the wife, daughter, and something that should be cherished, and it was worth living a life. But still, Lanigan goes in and does it. And Grisham reveals this tale of corruption, greed, and injustice within the law firm that drove Lanigan to take this drastic measure. So Lanigan is also portrayed as a very ambiguous character, a very complex character, a brilliant mind who is pushed to do this thing of killing himself in like a car chase. Car which was set on fire, then escaping off, and also stealing the money. So there is a reason he is doing all of this. So all of these morality-related issues come to the forefront as we progress through them. The Racketeer is the third novel that I'll be reviewing here. So the story revolves around Malcolm Bannister. He's an attorney serving time in a federal prison. That's how it's federal prison, and Malcolm Bannister is there, and he insists that he has not committed the crime, and he's being portrayed as the Racketeer. So there is illegal money laundering that has been occurring, but according to Malcolm, he was doing everything within the boundaries of what was allowed by the system, and he has operated this in this scenario many times, and he is pretty damn sure that he has done nothing wrong, but yet he is sitting in this federal prison. So the story takes a dramatic turn when the federal judge who presided over the trial of Malcolm Bannister, Judge Raymond Fawcett, is found dead, and under mysterious circumstances, along with his young secretary. The judge is found dead, and draws Malcolm again back into the limelight. And Malcolm here sees an opportunity to leverage his unique knowledge and in exchange for his freedom. So really he presents a case to the FBI, who has to deal with this critical case which they have to close pretty quickly. And Malcolm comes out and says, I have some detail as to why the judge was murdered, and I can help you with this investigation. So Malcolm also has another parallel going on. He wants to really escape from prison, and whereas the FBI is desperate to solve this high-profile murder case. So Malcolm's involvement is not straightforward, as it seems that he wants to help the FBI. He's meticulously planning every step along the way, not just for his freedom, but also for the revenge, and he wants to create a new life for himself. So the layers of the plan are slowly revealed in this fast-paced thriller. So there is a lot of legal maneuverings that happen, double crossings, and there is also counter setbacks, and then there is the justice system and somebody who wants vengeance against the justice system. So it makes for a very good read and a very fast-paced thriller when you go through this particular novel. The Racketeer is a very good read and would certainly recommend it. So that's it for